Triglyceride particles are different than the other two cholesterol particles. Triglycerides are one of the particles that transport fat around the body. Only about 20% of a triglyceride particle consists of cholesterol. And the relative contribution of triglycerides to the development of heart disease has been less clear compared to the more definite roles of LDL and HDL. Normal triglyceride levels fall below 150 milligrams per deciliter. How can you lower your triglycerides? It's the old familiar recipe of good diet, exercise, and weight loss again, but with a couple of twists. Diet is especially powerful in influencing triglyceride levels, but not a low-fat diet. This might seem counterintuitive. After all, triglycerides are primarily fat particles, right? Yes, triglycerides are primarily fat particles, but they actually reflect an overabundance of carbohydrates rather than of actual fat in the diet. Except in the situation where triglyceride levels are extremely high, which tends to be genetically determined, triglycerides are around because they are efficient energy storage particles. Taking extra carbohydrates and turning them into triglycerides, essentially condensing them, makes storage much more compact. So anytime we have excess carbohydrates or higher storage-promoting insulin levels, triglyceride levels tend to go up. You can therefore see how a low-fat diet, which is almost always high in carbohydrates, will be counterproductive in this situation. The answer is a low saturated fat, high fiber, calorie-controlled diet. Sound familiar? Just remember that low saturated fat does not mean low fat. A diet that includes low saturated fat encourages consumption of olive oil, canola oil, the oils in nuts and seeds, and fish. Low carbohydrate diets actually work well in patients with high triglycerides, but for optimal health, a person must limit his or her consumption of saturated fats. High saturated fat intake is an often overlooked side effect of many low-carb diets. Triglyceride levels are also quite sensitive to weight loss. Changes in triglyceride levels can be dramatic from an absolute numbers standpoint. Whereas we deal with single-digit changes for HDL cholesterol and low double-digit changes for LDL, triglyceride changes can often be measured in the hundreds, especially when you start out with a very high number. Amazingly, such changes can be seen with lifestyle management alone. Nothing underscores the benefits of a healthy existence like the sound of one of your bad cholesterol components dropping like a brick.